Good morning. Okay. I recently ran across this quote from an unknown author. Volunteering is the ultimate exercise in democracy. You vote in elections once a year, coincidentally Tuesday, don't forget. But when you volunteer, you vote every day about the kind of community you want to live in. I'll tell you a little story. I was a much younger mother with 3 kids in tow, ranging in age from 18 months to 4 years of age. My husband Mike and I were both recovering Catholics and knew that our hearts and minds did not align with that faith tradition. We had heard about this church in Evanston that seemed to resonate with our beliefs and serve as a foundation on which to build our family's spiritual path. We entered the Unitarian Church of Evanston, UCE, in the fall of 1997 and never looked back. It was a very busy place with over 350 members, most of whom would show up on a Sunday morning. We only knew one small family in that entire congregation. It was intimidating. We were welcomed at the door and introduced to the children's service and the RE program. To this day, I will always use the hand motions to "This Little Light of Mine" and "Gather Here" whenever I hear these songs. As a person who enjoyed getting involved in any endeavor that I could share with our kids, both Mike and I became active in the RE program in the basement. It was a bustling community of folk that were supportive, friendly, and loving. Our children discovered new friendships and developed amazing leadership skills over the many years that followed. I served as a teacher in several classrooms and grades, taking turns with other parents to teach lessons. I oversaw the art room, making it ready and stocked for the many different projects. I taught OWL more than a few times to different groups of kids, and I served as a chaperone at several youth cons and more until I finally served on the RE board for 2 terms. In fact, I served on the RE board at the time with a woman, Eileen Wibiot, who in a short 10-year span would herself become a UU minister and who is now currently the settled minister in that same church. Even Mike got involved in teaching. He caught the coming of age program to young men, as well as did a tour or 2 on the endowment committee. It was very rewarding to spend time getting to know the families and, more importantly, finding our niche in a large church where we didn't know many people. Friendships grew as our children grew up together. Our children grow up and in and eventually out of the RE program, yet I remain committed to serving in our church. I ran the kitchen for several years with my dear friend Kathy, and later served 2 terms on the nominating and recruiting committee. When I finally stepped down, it was rather strange to go to church and sit there and not do anything. We did not have a lot of money back then to give, but we did have time. They say time is our most precious commodity, and I know that the time I spent working alongside my fellow members and giving of myself has paid countless dividends to me and my family over the many years. I've made friendships that will last a lifetime. Most importantly, it allowed me to get to know so many incredible people with fascinating lives. Because we had a shared vision, conversations were often deep and satisfying as we performed our tasks or assignments together. The point I really want to make is when I chose to give my time so that I could feel I was part of a church, part of a community that I held so dear. Of course, I would have been welcomed anyway, but I wanted to feel connected. The connections still hold true today through the pandemic, through a move to Michigan, and I'm sure they will hold for many decades to come. We have now moved to St. Joseph and found our new spiritual home here. I look forward to working together post-pandemic to build relationships that I can treasure here as well. I've recently become a member of the Nominating and Leadership Development Committee here at Bluff. I do not know many of you as much as I'd like to. My children have all grown up and moved on. So this will be my opportunity to get to know each of you better. So if you see me at church, take a minute and let's talk. I'd love to hear what you're interested in. Don't worry, I'm just getting to know you. Please consider giving your time or talents to make Buff a vibrant community. Find your niche. We grow so much when we're able to share our gifts. It doesn't have to be a lot of time. Maybe start once a month doing something you are passionate about, or perhaps something you've heard about that you'd like to know more about, or even start or promote. As Denzel Washington says, at the end of the day, it's not what you have or even what you've accomplished, it's how you've lifted up who you've lifted up, who you've made better. It's about what you've given back. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Liz, for that very, very lovely testimony. That is, and were you before you started in Evanston, or no? Okay, wonderful. I think you and several other members here have more experience as a UU than I do. Actually have been president of a Unitarian Universalist fellowship, and I have to say that being a minister is a lot easier than that. So, yeah, that's for sure.